Have you guys seen Trump talking about how you vote for Kamala Harris, everyone's getting health care? A nightmare scenario. Can you imagine? Oh, this is a fire Trump line, by the way. I love this one.
Called it wrong. She's called it wrong now for about 8 years. But she said one thing that got me. She said Kamala has one big advantage. She's a very beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman.
Hi.
So I decided to go back and reread the
please.
clause. I'm not saying he's, but I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
He's doing that shit again where he's just being Delulu. I'm sorry, dude. You can't say that. It's like another one of those things that's like objectively untrue. Anyway, meanwhile, while that's happening, Harris and Walz are kicking off the bus tour rally in PA. They are literally going to be doing rallies while the DNC is going on, by the way. They are not stopping. They got 80 days. They got like 79 days remaining. Do we have a link that has the captions? Is there a caption link? When did he start pronouncing her name right? I think he goes in and out.
Each of these volunteers and the people who put it on, they all said it. They said it is so much better to be for something rather than against something. To be for the future, not going back. That's what people know. And we, some of us who have less hair and are old enough, can remember when you could go to Thanksgiving, watch a Steelers game with your relatives, and not complain about politics the whole time. Not be on each other's neck. Because you shared a commitment to democracy, a commitment to personal freedom, a commitment to public education, a commitment to infrastructure.
A commitment to dudes rocking, too.
We don't call each other this election is over, so you may be right. But look, coming into football country and being an old football coach, there's an old saying, you don't hope you're going to win, you prepare to win. And you give it the best you've got. And you know when that game's over, you want to know you left it all on the field. And that's all we're asking. Let's leave it all on the field. Let's get this thing done. Because when my grandkids and your grandkids asked you about this, because on November 6th, you were there, first time when you got to welcome Madam President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
I want to start with Tim Walz. Isn't he fantastic? I like to call him Coach Walz. And
you could tell when she says, "Isn't he fantastic?" She being so real. She's being so real. Like, that's not fake. That's not fake enthusiasm.
I mean, you know, there's something, I don't know, my first grade teacher, Mrs.
Does she recognize that she's being outshined by Tim Walz? Who gives a shit? She wants to win, dude. This is like one of those few instances, as I've said, where like her being a generic Democrat, an empty vessel for whatever, like will get her across the finish line is unironically a good thing. Most Democrats at the top of the ticket would have been worried about being outshined by the VP. Historically, that's the reason why they, most people just like choose shitty VPs.
For a moment, mention my friend Bob Casey. You have got to send him back to the United States Senate.
Vessel, not vassal. Sorry.
We're gonna get it done. And Malcolm Kenyatta knows exactly what I'm talking about. I see him almost every time I come into the state. So I want to just address you all right now, as the volunteers. You know, Tim said it. This campaign for us is really born out of love of country. We all here, we love our country. And we know our country is going to be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And to fight for what we stand for. You know, when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. When you stand for working people, you fight for working people. When you stand for freedom, whether it be to make decisions about your own body or love who you love, you fight for those things. When you believe in ending child poverty, you fight for that.
If Kamala doesn't get another plus 3% bump from the DNC in every swing state, it's so over. It's not an unfair estimation.
And these, therefore, are the things we fight for. And that's what our election is about.
You miss Joe a little? Yeah, me too, man. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You want a guy who is a carcass, actually. Until he's gone and you're like, where's my carcass?
As a democracy, we know there's a duality to the nature of democracy. On the one hand, incredible strength when it is intact. What it does for its people to protect and defend their rights, their liberty, and their freedom. Incredibly strong and incredibly fragile. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And that's what this campaign is about. This campaign is about
you never know the last time you will see somebody, like you never know the last time you will pick up your child. That's crazy.
That has taken place, I think, which is to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, when what we know is the real and true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up.
Yo, off script. When she goes off script, she does the rambling stuff a lot.
Strength looks like. That's what strength looks like.
She's back to her old ways. Lord forgive me. She's doing the we must not look backwards. We must have the strength to start revitalizing the effort to look forwards in a meaningful fashion type shit.
What we are about. We know what we stand for. And one of the beautiful things about these next 79 days is
she's back. She's unburdened. She's unburdened by what has been and burdened by what is to become. I can see it.
That we see in each other. Our connection, our interdependence, what we see in each other, which fortifies and reinforces that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. That's what this campaign is about. Yes, it is about winning, and we will win. And we will win. God willing. And through these next 79 days, we will continue to build community, build coalitions, and remind each other we are all in this together. So I thank you all so very much for what you are doing. Now let's get back to work, shall we?
Anyway, Pennsylvania stage takes center stage with visits by both candidates.
Joins us with the latest. Mary Alice, good morning.
Yeah, well, good morning. Both Democrats and Republicans really zeroing in on the economy this week, trading attacks over who has the best economic proposals. Today, Vice President Harris and Governor Walz will be in Western Pennsylvania on a new bus tour before heading to Chicago. This morning, all eyes on Pennsylvania, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to debut a new campaign bus on the eve of the Democratic National Convention. Former President Donald Trump also spending the weekend in the key battleground state.
I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again.
Offering few specifics on what he would try to do to bring down costs, but upping his attacks on Harris's economic proposals.
She went full communist.
Harris this week blamed corporations.
That was really awesome. Have you guys seen Trump talking about how if you vote for Kamala Harris, everyone will get health care? I love that. These guys are so brain broken, bro. You vote for Kamala Harris, everyone's getting health care. A nightmare scenario. Can you imagine how bad it would be for every American to get health care? Terrifying reality, folks. Everyone knows Americans are better off without health care.
For price gouging and promised penalties for them to try to drive down grocery costs, as well as new funding to work on the housing crisis. Republicans pouncing, saying government spending has led to inflation, As a pitch to bring back jobs, Trump pushing for tariffs on products coming from overseas.
I want to cut taxes on Americans while putting tariffs on China and foreign countries to bring our jobs back home to Pennsylvania.
Trump spending much of his remarks commenting on Harris's looks.
They said, no, her biggest advantage is that she's a beautiful woman. I'm going, huh. I never thought of that. I'm better looking than she is.
Some of his supporters saying he should lay off the personal attacks.
Let's talk about, the facts of what's going on in the country, the issues. He does need to ease up on that a little bit.
Harris's spokesperson in a statement writing, he resorts to lies, name-calling, and confused rants. The more Americans hear Trump speak, the clearer the choice is this November. Her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, campaigning in Nebraska, where he was born and raised.
I graduated from a town of 400 named Butte. I wouldn't trade growing up in that town for anything in the world. Spent my summers working on the farms.
And ABC News will host the first presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump.
Can you wear normal size pants? No, dude. I love my big ass pants, dude. My parachute pants look sick.